Everyone and welcome back at Throwing an Eye At. In this episode of Throwing an Eye At, we are going to be looking at Oriental Empires, as the name clearly suggests. This is a game that is currently in early access. The game itself is a 4X based in China from 1500 BC until 1500, so it's a fairly large time period. Now, this game reminds me mostly of Civilization, to be honest. However, it's like very different in the way you control your units and like improve the area around your cities. And I'm just going to show you a certain amount of turns in the campaign, which at the moment is the only playable mode. I have played 36 turns before this. And I was playing as the Shu. Now, I'm just gonna play with the Shang because they seem like a relatively, let's say, standard clan. As you can see here, there's different traits for every clan you can play. Now, here it says farmers. And over here, we have herders. Now, from what I have gathered, is that farmers can have farms and herders use other forms of food sources to provide for their citizens. Though I am not entirely sure yet what those food sources are. I also haven't encountered any tips or hints or information about it in the game yet. Probably because I haven't played any clans that are herders yet. Anyway, let's just get going. Loading time is pretty damn short, as you can see. Alright, so here we are. Ooh. Alright, as you can see, there are, well, certain icons on the map. These are special resources, just again like in Civ. However, in this game you don't really need to build upon these tiles to obtain these resources. As long as your city is close enough, you will automatically get the value from the resources. You just need to be adjacent or within the territory, and then you will have the bonus of this resource. So, for example, I would really benefit from having a city here, as this will give me copper and access to rhinos. These rhinos give a great bonus to my income. Alright, and these icons are kind of new because they are actually encounters, excuse me. Meaning that they will lead up to certain events. So far they seem to be quite numerable, and I haven't gotten a lot of the same events. Alright, so here we have bodyguards, 2 nobles in our family at the moment apparently. Ah, okay. This is our leader. Well, he has a unit of villagers under his command, and we're going to probably go over here to make him well, get the settlers over there and have them settle a new city. Meanwhile, our heir, I'm assuming this is our heir, will move over here towards this encounter. And after that we can go scout. Alright. This is the city overview. Seems a bit overwhelming, but simply put, if you click on this, you will convert this tile to farmland and it will increase the amount of food you will get. You don't need to put any more villages on this land. You just have to make sure you have the population to support it, so you can't have more farmland than you have population. Down at the bottom here you can see how much population will be farming and how much of your population will be building or working on something else. So it's easy to see what your population is building. Alright, so here it's, well, build farms. Very, very simple. This allows you to clear land, so we can clear forests for lands. This will not give you a bonus to anything else. It will just clear out the forest so you can build farms. There you go. Very simple. And this, as far as I know, you can construct trading posts on the water with this option. That's the only option I've gotten so far. But heck, I've only been into this game for 36 turns with another faction. And here's the recruitment tab. If you want to recruit something, here's a nice description of what the unit does. Even more, everything is explained here. What does what does this unit do, how much defense he has, how much armor he has. The difference between defense and armor is not really explained here, but if you're familiar to other 4X strategy games, for example Total War, it will probably be the same as this. The amount of defense will determine the chance of a unit being hit. At least that's the way it works in Total War. And considering the people that worked on this game used to work for Total War, I'm going to assume that this is the way this system works. So we're going to recruit nobles. Hey, you can see that in 12 turns we can recruit another unit of nobles, because, you know, they're probably kind of rare because they're nobles, you know. So here's some militia spearmen which have way lower stats in most cases, except their defense is pretty good and they are a lot cheaper to maintain, and we can also recruit a lot more of them. However, for the moment I just want a small force for when my noblemen, my characters will come back to the city. At the moment I actually do not want to expand, as in this game there's something called authority. If you have more settlements than your authority, this will cause unrest, and that will cause your cities, or I don't know, a revolt. This hasn't happened to me yet, so I do not entirely know what this means. However, I can imagine it's not the most pleasant thing that's going to happen to you. Alright, that is the military and kind of expansion. I'll show you later when we are actually going to settle a new city. Alright, here are the city buildings. Very clear overview. Constructed buildings. I haven't constructed anything, of course, except for just the city. And this is what we can build. And here again, it will show us everything. It's the cost to build. This is the upkeep per turn. Now, these are two different symbols, but they basically mean the same. The only difference is that this is our main treasury, and this is the treasury for the city. Alright, so this will allow us to recruit bowmen. Bazaar will allow trade. So, as you can see, she's giving me a tip to not build a bazaar because we don't need it. Indeed, we don't need it, but a bazaar is needed to trade with nearby settlements. Therefore, we will receive income from trade. However, at the moment, I just want to stick to something basic, like a freaking palisade. I honestly do not know what the correct pronunciation of that would be, as, well, my native language is not English. Doesn't matter, you get the idea. This is just a very early defensive building. And it's always nice to have this, as this game does indeed have bandits. So this will cost me 750 gold, 3 turns to construct, and here there is more information about the building and what it does. And there will be no upkeep for this building. And as you can see here, a larger part of my population has now been put on constructing certain buildings instead of farming. This will decrease the population growth. Well, this simply shows the growth and your population, what your population is doing. Very good overview of what is going on. Alright, unrest. There's a lot of factors here. And I haven't gone through all of them. All I know that if certain factors will decrease your happiness or order in your city, and the game will update you about the sources of this unrest. For example, if your king, leader, or emperor dies, there will be more unhappiness among both groups. But both groups are impacted from different factors differently. As you can see here, the nobles aren't that afraid of military strength. Thus, using your military to increase order in a city will be way more effective on peasants than on nobles. The nobles will also be more affected by unrest caused by you expanding too much while your authority is rather low. The peasants probably don't really give a shit what you're doing as long as you don't beat them to death, because hey, this is ancient times. That's how it worked back then, mostly. So, main rule of unrest, don't let it get too high. The game will tell you what to do and what causes this unrest. Ergo, you'll be able to solve this unrest. And most peasant unrest, very easy way to solve it at the start, I would assume, is just simply military force. Just station a buttload of military units in your city and you will be fine. For nobles, they tend to be a bit more annoying, as well, to no one's surprise. The nobles, arrogant fucks probably. Anyway, moving on to food. Food is determined by the amount of food you have is determined by, well, of course, the amount of population. It's 10, so 10 units of food are consumed every turn. This is the production. Domestic is, well, like people just had the like gardens and like a small amount of like small livestock in around houses, so your city itself will produce 2 units of food. And this is a wild game. This is a resource on the minimap. It's right over here. This will, as it clearly says over here, give 3 food to any settlement that controls it. I actually don't know how that works with rival empires. I haven't had a situation where I was next to a rival empire, like adjacent to a resource on the world map, and they were also only just adjacent. I haven't had that happen to me yet. I honestly do not know what is going to happen then, but it will be interesting to see. And here's agriculture. So depending on how many people work on one hex, it will determine how how much will be produced. Therefore, if you use a lot of people on building, well, you could starve your people to death, which will probably cause unrest. There you go. A reason for unrest and how to solve it. Not to just have everybody build stuff. Just have enough people on farming, and you can see over here how much food you have. And you can see here your population growth. Honestly, I don't really know if 16.5 is good at all or it's bad. I haven't figured it out yet. I'm terrible, I know. Anyway, well, those are the military building tabs. We went over those. And I think that is most of the interface done when it comes to city. Yeah, it was quite a lot actually for the city. And now we have this panel over here. First tab is diplomacy. At the moment we haven't met anyone, so I can't really explain too much about it. This is technology. Technology is pretty interesting, as there are 4 types of technology. Some overlap. Like as you can see, knowledge has horse domestication, and so has power. Power also has the rammed earth wall. So that's the craft part of the technology tree, because basically this is our technology tree. Knowledge also has yin and yang. Thought also has yin and yang. So certain things overlap, but because, as you can see here, there's a bonus to power, and you can get bonuses by going to those encounters on the world map. Some of them will allow you to get a bonus percentage on research. Therefore, if you have a bonus on power, it would be better to use power to research horse domestication instead of knowledge. Even though for some reason we can't do that. Well, oh, never mind. Wait, what? Alright, for some reason this is unresearchable when we select in craft, but it is researchable when it is selected in power. But then why would it be here? Something I'll have to figure out. I do not understand why it would be here if you can't research it here. That is just confusing and quite me now, because now I feel like an idiot. Anyway, let us research something. Yeah, there's also culture. I haven't figured out what culture does too much, except for that I know it's a win influence in a win condition. Alright, let us see. Let us just... It's important to be able to clear forests. There we go. Here. Well, this will also increase our authority, which is very good, considering we need authority because we are going to build another city. Knowledge. Noble archers. Just kidding, let's get more authority. You will respect my authority. Hint. Eight hexes away. I'm sorry, but so far no city has gone beyond that, but we'll see. You may be like, hey, you haven't researched too much about this game yet. This is not a review, this is more of a, well, first impressions than anything else. If I would have to review this game, I had to play through 1 or 2 games, in my opinion, before I would be fully able to review that. And considering I never really would get a review copy of this game, I'm going to be really late on, well, having a video on this game. And that is not something as I want. Oh, you noblemen have the best equipment, so, you know, good whining. Alright, let us recruit another group of settlers. Only will move them out when we have more authority. I will move out to the north. I'm just really happy there's a sea over there. There we go. Alright, everything seems quite peachy so far. Alright, so this is the end of the turn, and then you will see all your movement, all your units moving. And there is rebels already, which is kind of a problem considering we don't really have an army for any of our generals. There you go, recruit some freaking units, because we really need them. Alright. Wait, what? Did I just put him back? Alright, let us select only the militia light spearman, and only that unit will move out. Alright, our leader is over here, and he is able to reach copper and rhinos and this mulberry that will give us an increase in trade for a certain resource. Oh, it seems like we scared off this encounter, which is great. I did not know that would happen. Well, the more I know, I suppose. Marsh. I feel like we're going to need a technology to be able to do anything with that. Here is... that's cheap. Let us see the stats on these buggers. Maybe. Ah, there we go. 17 the... Those units seem to be rather formidable. Let us continue marching south and also towards these rebels, as they will probably attack my city, and, well, let's be fair, that is not going to be a happy thing, considering I only have a small force of nobles to fend them off. However, they seem to be inactive. Also, considering how little cities there are, where the hell did these bandits come from? So far I've only encountered like 4 kind of resources. Well, I mean, kinds of. So there's fish that increases food, same for wild game. Rhinos increase gold, copper that... I haven't really gotten copper before. And so I just... Oh, so we can probably do... Ah! Pavilions. I haven't had the chance to build those either. Great, lots of new stuff. Amazing. Discovering stuff. One of my favorite things in video games. Alright, here we go over there. Alright, so at the moment we are only on 1 authority, which is too low to be getting any new cities. And here they are still clearing stuff out and constructing a palisade. The rebels seem to be... Yeah, now they're engaging me. As this is the combat. This is why I think this game is a bit more like Civilization than it would be to Total War, because the combat, well, this is what happens. I have no control over what my units do when they are in combat, except for these stances. So right now we're gonna put them out on outflank and try to re-engage them. After every battle there's a nice battle report. We only suffered 1 casualty, which is not pretty freaking efficient, to be honest. And very, very good. Alright, so now we're going to get another farm. No. It's kind of pointless apparently, because we only... Wait, how many farms do we have? We have 1 farm, so... Yeah, that's why all the other options disappear, because we can't have more farms. Anyway, let us get this, these militia over there. So far everything seems to be quite in order. And again, alright, so let us see how... As you can see now, my units will try to go around them. Kind of. Just... Please, please. Yeah, okay. So, as you can see, 2 of my units engaged at the front, and these kind of went there anyway, but... Sure. Let us see the battle report. Oh, you can see the stance. Well, we're going to attack them again. Battles don't really seem to be very decisive. That is one of my main problems with this game. It seems to be that, like, for me to kill off an entire regiment of enemy units, I need to fight them at least almost 5 times, which is a little bit ridiculous in my opinion. Because that is a lot of fighting. Going to recruit another unit of militia. And then not turn. And there's going to be more fighting. And for some reason they attack my city and they will apparently if you I don't know how to pronounce this. I feel ashamed and unculturally developed. As you my Q increases, my power will probably increase as well, as my authority for my entire empire is now 3 instead of, well, 1, what it was last turn if I'm correct. Alright, so let us send out this detachment of units. And settle a city in the north of our capital. Right, so we managed to research something in power, which was military drill, which allows us to recruit long spearmen and get more authority. This will increase the production of our farms. Well, let us get a barracks to deal with these damn rebels. Now, this city will grow pretty rapidly soon, and we're going to let it grow for a while, and these can rest soon after they chase down those rebels and finally exterminate the rest of the forces. Oh, well, they appear to have evacuated the area. Quite a smart move of them, if I say so. And we can pull back with these guys and let them... I can actually not see how many men they have. Yeah, that is something I kind of would need to work on, because I don't know if they will replenish outside of my city borders. I don't know. I can only guess they will probably not. And let us hope they do not encounter any hostile units, because they are freaking civilians and they are not so well. I actually don't know if I can trade with my own settlements, and I guess we are going to figure that out right now. Well, there's a lot of research that is done at this turn. Bronze trade by 30. Well, we're not trading at the moment, and trade isn't armor. Let's get more culture. Adverse effects. Sounds like this is going to prevent any random stuff from screwing up my, well, the beliefs of the people, and therefore not cause any unrest. Alright, well, that's it again. Everything seems quite basic so far. I'm just waiting to meet another power. Oh, there we go. And now I can show you diplomacy. Right, so here you can see all the enemies a certain clan or power has. And this is the status. If you're friendly with them, this will turn green, and I'm assuming, I don't know yet, if you are on unfriendly terms with them, this will turn red. Very likely. Well, here, we do not really have a relationship with this clan. They are polite towards us. They are much weaker, and their wealth is more or less the same, and they are, well, stable. So, there's no unrest going on. We can ask for payments, or we give them payments. Oh yeah, we can give them, and here we can demand payments. Here we can give information, and we can demand or ask for information, and we can get an agreement. Apparently they cannot agree to that, so let's not do that. Let's try and get this done. Oh, they seem to be rather polite and nice towards us. Have revealed the location of their capital. Also, Wuda. Oh no, that's not us. I don't know who this is. Oh, well, it seems like our expedition to the north is going to fail pretty freaking hard. Because, well, someone else is kind of settled there. Let us turn towards the ocean then. That was not really expected, meaning the amount of population it would take to build that thing. However, that is not really a problem. Alright, so we had a great time with building that bazaar. Oh, as you can see here, there's also a certain amount of population that can be unemployed. That just means just try to put them to work. I haven't seen any effects of that on unrest. Yet there might be effects on unrest for that. But so far I haven't noticed any. I'm just recruiting more militia to go towards the west and try to discover lands that we can settle. They seem to be really friendly towards us. I feel like we could attack them, however, considering I'm just doing this to, you know, kind of show you the basics of the game, that would maybe not the smartest of ideas. Right, so we have a bazaar. So that means this, my capital, and my first expansion are now trading with each other, and therefore we will have income from trade, which is only 5. And that is mainly because it's trading within the same faction. and I just realized I forgot to go through this entire freaking panel. So right here we have edicts. And edicts will probably give you certain bonuses. However, this one seemed to be rather bad, considering it will only give minus authority to a general character and general authority for 20 turns, which is only negative. So I don't know why anyone would do this, and it will cost us 100 per turn, which is a lot. And here you can see your expenses. And your income in a rather good overview. So this is our income and this is our treasury. And well, you also have an overview of the whole game, which I find kind of a bit excessive, but sure. And here we have our player status. So this is the information of our clan. If you forget what passive you have, you can go here and you can check up on that. Here there are 4 ways to achieve victory. First one is, well, if you... Well, I mean, you don't need to conquer anyone, actually. Because if you expand like a maniac, you can also have this victory. However, considering that it's going to be quite difficult, well, given the fact that you can't really just expand like crazy without any repercussions, it is going to involve some conquering, because from that you get more authority. So this is more the militaristic victory. The Son of Heaven victory. In the diplomacy menu, there is an option that allows you to say to another faction that their ruler is the Son of Heaven, and therefore you support them. And thus, this is the more diplomatic victory compared to other 4Xs. Cultural victory. It seems to be rather difficult, but well, this is why we have culture. So if you focus on a lot of culture in your research and in the buildings you're constructing, you can win a cultural victory. And points victory, well, that just means you go all the way to the end, and whoever is the most powerful will win. At the moment we have 5 of influence, so we can actually have like 4 cities without any real repercussions. And as you can see here, actually, they are a lot happier with us. Anyway, oh well, this is kind of annoying. There seem to be no more encounters, which is also disappointing, to say the least. Because they can provide a nice bonus. And we found more rebel scum. And no kind of reinforcement. I'm sorry, what? Are you serious, man? I mean, if you wanna... If you want to be a dick about it, then sure. I will definitely retaliate. I'm not gonna let you walk over me. That is a dick move, and without... I don't know why you're doing that, but you're gonna pay for it. That's what I know. Let us recall these. Alright. Seems like... this settler alone needs to go over there. These are going over there to find the rebels. The settler, I'm thinking, will go over here and settle on the water side. Or over here. Alright, we cannot really construct anything. Six more turns. Well, in the meantime, our population is growing anyway, so that is not really a big problem. And now we'll have another battle. And this is my problem with battles around cities. As you can clearly see, these two units are doing nothing. Oh, now they are. In previous encounters with regards to forces around my city, units kind of bugged out and were just letting one stack do everything, while they themselves didn't really do anything. They seem to be friendly as well. And now they seem to be more nice towards us, but that was uncool. Oh boy. There's more bandits. Oh, they kicked our ass, kind of. Let's see battle report. I'm sorry, what? Okay, apparently my men only managed to kill 8 of them, and they killed about, like, 50? 70 of my men. That is a shameful display, as I would say so. Ziggity zigzag. They would win. They have nobles in them, in their army. Right, so far that seems to be most of the game, actually. At least during the Bronze era. There are 2 more eras. I haven't gotten to any of them yet. Except for the Bronze one. Let's speed this up, shall we? But except for more advanced units and more advanced buildings. Well, the AI seems to be normal human beings instead of complete freaking assholes as in most 4Xs. However, I do not think I'll be able to reach those. eras in this current playthrough, and they will be very likely to be just more advanced stages of the game. There will be more options opened up. However, the basics of the game are very likely to be the same from what I saw from videos from the company itself. Therefore, a lot of this, the way the game works will stay the same. There's just going to be a lot more options, and there's going to be different ways to approach your goal. And so far I think we covered most of the basics of this game, and as you can see during my playthrough, this game is not buggy. It runs pretty damn well. I mean, it's not like, it's not ugly, but it's not like a freaking, amazing thing either. But it looks, good. I mean, look, this is not ugly. It just doesn't look bad or good. It's just normal. There you go. I mean, there's some freaking random birds flying around. There's some, this is random, a little bit of random stuff. It doesn't make it too boring, but it's not too excessive. I mean, if it's too excessive, that would be bad, because that would be distracting. But let's take a little look at a settlement, for example. Like here, there's some people around, and you can see some buildings, and you can see the enemy soldiers here, and the equipment, and the coat of arms, I suppose. The color of the army. And here you can see a wall around my settlement, because I built a wall, and there's farmland and there's people farming on it, and there's an ox, and it's just small things. And here you can see the people like deforesting this area. I mean, there's a nice and good amount of detail to this game, and it's not too excessive. And you can just see, well, these like small things would be like, I suppose, resembling small, like really small settlements. Otherwise, I don't really know what that is. Oh, these are probably herders. Probably. I'm not entirely sure. I'm just going to assume. Because they don't seem to have any farmland around their territory, around the cities. Because these guys, as you can see, have farmland around their cities, while they have none. So I'm really curious to see how they get food. But anyway, back to more kind of conclusion here. The game, like when it comes to developing land around your cities, the game, it offers like kind of enough features. Like there's a good amount of variety when you are near a mountain, near a river, or something like that. If you're just on plains, you would be only able to get farms. But then again, what else would you be able to do with plains? Like, maybe later you could construct something different that will increase the culture in your empire. I don't know. I haven't figured out yet, but let's see here. The pavilion. Yeah, there you go. The pavilion does increase the culture. Like, so on mountains you can get pavilions, and special resources. You sometimes can build special extraction buildings. Let's just keep it on that. Most of these additional resources on the minimap, however, don't really require any kind of technology or building to be able to access them, therefore making it quite easy to harvest them. As far as I know, these encounters, I haven't seen any of them pop up yet, so I don't know if they're just spawned at the start and that's it. And I don't know if they're random either. I'm assuming they're kind of random. So, and you can see what they are, so you can choose what you would try to deal with first. Like, for example, that warrior, you can try and get that warrior first because there's a group of bandits nearby. If there's not, and you have enough money in treasury, you can go to, for example, a skilled trader or an artist that will help you with a certain way of technology development, if you want to focus on that. So there's a reasonable amount of depth when it comes to the minimap itself, like how you can try to focus towards certain types of victories. I haven't gotten in any siege, to be honest, but I know there are siege units in this game, and they will probably a unit that will be on during the later eras, because at the moment, well, we're in an era where siege units were like not a thing. So at the moment, I feel like you can just get archers with burning arrows and you can burn down the settlement. I don't know if that will mean you can capture it or not, but there you go. I also assume that capturing settlements and going to war will increase unrest. As you can see, it's the unrest in my for my peasants is rather high, but that is because there is not enough food. This being because of, well, very simply, recently one of our farms got burned down. There you go. So the invest can be pretty fragile at the start. That's something I would say it's not out of control, like it's not just a freaking it's not something like that is out of control. You can still control it, but it's at the start it's harder than later on to control your unrest. But then again, the more tools you'll get to manipulate the unrest, well, the easier it is to control it, which is with most 4Xs. So the conclusion being, it's a good game, and at the moment it's, I think, 25 euros, if I'm correctly. And for 35 euros, a game that is focused on China and has no bugs, has quite a lot of playable factions. It has 16 at the moment, has reasonably depth, and this game is very clear about what everything does. Like, if you don't know, you just hover over it and there you go. It will even give like a little bit of history. Like, it has a very good amount of detail in when it comes to most of the information, and graphically it's good. It's good. Like, as I said, like, the detail is great. It's a rhino. I mean, it's not the most beautiful looking rhino, but it's not about freaking rhinos. Like, the fact that it's there is great. Like, there's just these small things that make the world, like, feel alive. Therefore, I think graphically it's good. It runs well as well. At one point I should reveal what kind of system I use and everything, but I also don't feel like this game would be too taxing on most of modern PCs. frame rate had no issues whatsoever. Early access, the fact that it's early access, it's not bugged. I think. I doubt this game is bugged at all. I have had no bugs whatsoever in the amount of time I've played in this video and the time I played this before. Well, before the video. Combat is a little dull. That is the weakest point of the game so far. Like, city building is okay, but, you know, city building takes more effect later on, and it seems to be reasonably good. Well, I mean, it's not the best, but then again, like, city building becomes more of a factor later on in the game. But yeah, the weakest point of this game is definitely fighting. Like, you know, you don't really have any control over what your units do during this battle. You can only say, like, oh, this is the stance we're gonna get, and that's it. Like, you can't really tell them to do a specific thing or anything like that. Heck, I don't even know how to call my soldiers back. I just know there's the withdraw stance. That's it. Like, you can't call back a specific unit out of the fight, which, I don't know, it's something I really don't like, because I always like strategy games, fighting games, everything. I like the fighting aspects of most games, like, and I feel like because this one of the victory conditions is based on military force, the majority of it, it's kind of a bit of a problem. I would say that they would need to work on that. It doesn't mean, like, don't buy this game, but it's definitely its weakest point. If you like more in-depth Asian warfare, I would suggest to pick up Total War Shogun 2, which is a very good game, also a 4X, and it has way better in-depth combat. However, if you're looking for a game that is based in China, and it's also based on a larger time period, I would suggest you pick up this game, because it's pretty freaking good, and I'm probably going to stick a lot more hours into this, if my school will allow me. I mean, not that they are standing behind me with a freaking, I don't know, bayonet or something, but, I mean, I kind of want to make sure I pass my university and everything. But anyway, I would recommend that you pick up this game, and there's a sale on it while it's in early access. Don't let early access label scare you. It's solid. It's a solid freaking game. Go get it if you like 4Xs and you want to play in early era of China during its, you know, early days. There you go, that's it. Well, I hope you liked the video, and I hope it gives you more information about this game, and on whether you want to buy it or not. And I'll see you next time, and have a great day.